Good, whatever time of day it is you happen to be listening. This is the P&A Podcast Express, brought to you by Malort. It's Junior's favorite.
I'm out.
He would do a shot with you anytime, any place, in a box, with a fox, on a train, while he's walking with a cane,
Quick question.
shooting darts while he has to fart. He would do it with you anytime.
Yes.
Junior would do a shot of Malort.
So if that would have picked you up to 3 points at state finals, would you do 3 shots in a row?
Absolutely. Let's do it. Maybe it'll change by tomorrow.
He's Adam Filkins. I'm Phil Nickel. Welcome to the shit show known as the P&A Podcast Express. Coming to you live at the moment, unless you're listening to this recorded from
Why would you?
the Palm Street Studios. We've got a studio full of guests here tonight.
Really big show.
We got a lot planned for you here
Who's the little
tonight.
moose here?
That's Molly.
Molly's in studio,
Good golly, Miss Molly.
as well as featured guest Brian the Blade. Featured guest the Grumpy Griller. Featured guest and Hall of Famer Junior.
My brothers.
No one joining us at the moment via satellite. How's everybody doing?
Little below average after last episode.
Right?
From those.
The Malort did not lort you well.
Should I just put a random link in the chat for anybody who wants to join via satellite?
Sure,
Yeah.
why not? Come on, anyone, via satellite. So I do want to talk about something for a brief moment here. I have something here.
Is it a gear grind?
No, it's more of a attaboy.
Attaboy.
Attaboy. What I really want to talk about is, one thing that struck me near and dear, we were talking about on the podcast, and it's something very, very close to my heart. And it really meant a lot to me. And it was really a miraculous moment, especially for how everything has gone this past bowling season. So when Junior told the story about a golf tournament past when he had dutifully hit the ball and got his first and only, I assume, hole in one, but it was not in the correct hole. So I kind of, for the moment, I got something for you I really want you to have here to celebrate this because I'm so proud of you. And I have something just for the moment. Hold on, bear with me. So I got this for you because it's the only thing I could think of. And I want you to wear this with pride. It's something very
Tell me if it's
special
not a
and near
clown.
and dear.
Is it a clown?
It's simply a shirt that says wrong hole.
I will gladly wear that.
And it's not a kid's medium. It's a 2XL. So
I appreciate that.
And it just says wrong hole. And I want you to wear that with pride.
I feel your pain. That was
Yeah.
5-pin bowling in Canada one time.
Yeah.
I got a strike like 5 lanes over.
So
My buddy did too.
Junior, I thought about that. I thought about the what you had told us, the story about how you would ace your first hole
Yep.
ever, hole in one.
Yep.
But it wasn't in the correct hole. So I just said, what can I do to commemorate this? I want to give you something because it's a momentous. I've never had a hole in one.
Yeah.
You seem
Yeah.
to never let us down, Philip.
But so I
appreciate
saw
that.
that and I got that for you and I'm like, it just
I
simply
will wear
says
that.
wrong hole. Yes.
Yep.
But is the wrong hole worth more or less?
Oh, I had to take a stroke. Well, it was a scramble anyways.
Right.
I'm pretty sure.
Oh, shit, I feel sorry.
So
for
his
the guy
best
behind
ball?
you.
Yeah.
But yeah, so I saw
Wasn't
that.
mine.
I saw that and I said, this is something I want Junior to have. So I got you a shirt that simply
Where
says
do you get
wrong
these wonderful toys?
So I want you to wear that with pride.
Yep.
I even got it in a color I've seen you wear before, like that blue. So
I
yeah,
like it.
it just says wrong hole.
Yep.
So yeah, you're welcome. So just to celebrate Junior getting a hole in one.
Yep.
No, is the wrong hole in the front or the back of the shirt?
It's on the front of the shirt.
Yep.
They had one that said wrong hole that had an arrow pointing down on the back of the shirt.
That would have been funny if they were pants.
Right. Right. So now that we got that out of the way, yes.
I appreciate that.
Yeah.
That's such a thoughtful gift.
Yeah.
You're welcome.
All the shit that I've let you down all year long,
Right.
bowling, and you do this for me, man.
Of course. I love you, buddy.
I love you more.
He
there we
couldn't
go.
get you a ship, so he got you a shirt.
It just says wrong hole, and I want you to
Starts
wear it
with
with
an S.
pride because whenever anybody asks, you can tell them the story about your hole in one.
Yeah. Fuckers made me buy rounds of drinks for everybody, too.
I know. That's why I got this shirt. I'm like,
Fucking McConnell's.
Oh boy.
there we go. I'm glad we got that out of the way. So, how's everybody
Yes.
doing? Any gear grinds?
Anybody?
Go ahead, Junior.
I got one. I went to go see my goddaughter play soccer in Port Huron. She is going to college, Siena Heights, got a full ride to play soccer. Went to Port Huron Northern High School to watch her. She lives in the Macomb Warren area. It was one of her last soccer games. And me and my mom walked through the gates, spending to pay $5 to get in, which we did last year. And she goes, "Sir, we don't take cash."
Yeah.
And high schools are doing this.
A lot of them are, yeah.
They only take cards. It's an all-card system, and on top of it, my gear grind is they charge you 85 fucking cents, so it's $5.85 to get in.
Yeah. And
Oh, that's the crux of it. Holy crap cakes.
so, like, for playoffs and stuff now, you have to go online and buy your tickets.
Horse
And-
shit.
Yeah,
It's all I'm
it is
summing it up.
horseshit.
It's my gear grind. All high schools are doing this?
You want to know what another gear grind too is something they're going to. If you broadcast games, it's difficult because a lot of times now they will offer you the rosters, but you have to look it up via QR code on your phone.
Yeah.
I'm like, how the fuck does that help me when I'm using my phone for broadcast purposes and everything else to have the rosters on there? Like, I need printouts of rosters. So literally in playoffs past, mainly at bigger schools, I've had to literally write it down on a sheet of paper off of my phone before the game. What kind of horse shit is that?
It is.
We're regressing. We're moving backwards.
I
Yeah.
think so.
Well, the one thing I can tell you is athletic directors hate making copies,
They should have fucking lackeys to make copies, though. I mean,
especially at the bigger schools.
Christ. You've got all those special ed students. Make them fucking make copies.
And then you got the frittata ones too.
Right?
So when did
And they're like, hold it upside down. They're like, this one's upside down. You're like, rotate it.
bump bump?
They look at the page backwards and they bring you the whole ream of paper and go,
I
the
got
copies
mail.
were already made.
I can bring free friends. Jesus Christ. That pissed me off, though.
That's regular students,
Better
so
be pissed off than pissed off.
Sure.
Yeah, it's the regular students anymore.
That's my gear grind.
I don't blame you.
I think that's bullshit. The lady told us straight up. He said, my mom asked, what if I didn't have a credit card with me?
Then you don't get in.
Yeah, she said that. Fuck you. And I got a part B to this too. Same game.
Portion B.
Yeah. The refs were fucking terrible. All three of them were 55 or older, waddling down the field.
You know why that is, though? Because nobody younger will ref and be treated the way people treat the refs. And I'm not joking on that. That I have been coaching for a long time, and I will admit I've been guilty of it a few times, but I am absolutely blown away by the way human beings will treat other human beings.
Absolutely.
Because they made a wrong fucking
My
call.
brother-in-law almost got kicked out by the athletic director at Port Huron Northern.
And probably rightly so.
We didn't deserve to win the game, all right? But the calls were fucking terrible. They should have, you have to take a test to ref a game. You know, they're there for a paycheck. They were literally looking right straight at the fucking play, and girls were getting hurt on our side. And that was my beef and my brother-in-law's beef. The game was well out of hand, other side, but these guys are terrible. They're there for a paycheck. They should have to take a test, and
Well,
maybe go through like a police boot camp kind of
Or
thing.
maybe a grading system.
there is a
Something.
grading system, but coaches actually have to put the effort in to do that. And that's one thing that I always did was I always made sure to whether they were good or bad, I rated every referee that we had. But the system is flawed because to be a coach, you only have to do one rating a year. And then you're off the hook. You don't have to. And I think you should. It takes 5 minutes, and it's all online.
Right.
You go through it. It has you rate them in like 10 or 15 categories, depending on the sport, and depending on how they do in their ratings is whether or not they referee districts, regional, states, that type of stuff. So it is the own fault of the coaches, and God bless those guys. I don't care how terrible they are. If they weren't there, you don't have a game.
Sure.
And I've seen some absolutely horrific referees, but I've actually absolutely seen some great referees that make a very easy mistake, or they make a judgment call that somebody doesn't like, and they are pretty much attacked on, the court, the field, or the wrestling mat. I mean, it's absolutely terrible.
But like nowadays, can officials at a certain high school event get together and change the call? Have
No.
you seen that done?
No.
No.
Got it.
Now, in wrestling for different levels, like in the finals of like districts, regional, states, they will have two referees, and one referee can confer with the other one. But there's a head referee and kind of a watcher referee. The head referee's decision is always final.
Okay.
And it's impossible. There is no go back and guess on it. There is no, because it happens too fast. If you've ever refereed anything and you ever talk bad about a ref, you're fooling yourself, because you fucked up way worse than any of them would have, because it's tough. I tried umpiring years ago and found out I was not good at it. And so I just didn't want to do it anymore, because I don't want to get yelled at by everybody.
Yeah.
But
I've seen that.
and honestly, they deserved to yell at me because I was not good at it. And when I did it and realized how hard it was to do it, it gave me a lot more respect for the people who got the balls to go out there and call those things.
Yeah. Respect.
And to call them out is wrong, because there is a huge shortage of referees. Huge shortage. In fact, in wrestling, they had to kind of open it up so that they could wrestle more nights because there's not enough referees. The same thing is happening in basketball. And it's a shame, and it's because people are just awful to them. I mean, just absolutely terrible. And so anytime I hear or see anybody yelling and screaming at the refs, I want to go up and punch them, because it's uncalled for.
No, I understand that. It was just, I was, like I said, the game was well out of hand, but there was calls that the young ladies on my goddaughter's team, were getting hurt.
Well, and that's where the coach needs to step in and have a conversation with the referees.
Yep.
And if they're not doing it, they're to blame in that situation.
True. I understand that point, but, what do you do with, what do you do when the kids get hurt? I mean, that's
Kids
what
get
it-
hurt.
you-
Do you know how many kids I've seen get hurt over something
part of
that's
the game,
illegal
right?
or,
I know,
or
but
not?
it was call after call, and it was just getting ridiculous, Adam.
Oh, I've seen it before a million times. But there's also a point where if they were calling everything, at what point do they have to just let them play?
Right.
And it's, I'll guarantee you, if it was the other way around, you wouldn't feel as strong about it. Guarantee you.
Yeah, I
Because
understand.
my guess is you don't like, you're not an avid soccer watcher.
That's true.
And so to know where that gray line is of, was that kind of a dirty move a little bit, but within the rules? Yeah. Or was it blatantly outside the rules?
And the other thing, you're way back looking at it. That guy's right there.
Yeah.
That was the shitty point about it. The guy who's right in the they have a left-hand side judge. One guy's in the middle, which was the oldest guy who could barely run up and down the soccer field. And they got a guy on the far right.
Call that the pitch.
The pitch. I didn't know that. The other one, the receiver.
There are literally little leagues that have started when somebody bitches about the umpires.
They make that person or umpire for an inning. Yeah.
Well, they make them umpire a game before they can come back and watch any games.
But like in the Little League World Series, that's all volunteer. They don't get paid for that.
Well, you would be shocked at how little officials get
They
paid.
don't get paid. I mean,
Understandable, but
It's not like it's a career. It's
right.
something you do by the time because you don't get paid mileage. Though I will almost guarantee those guys drove a long ways because they never hardly ever put anybody in their hometown where they live. So like most of our wrestling officials in the thumb here, they come from Flint. Very rarely do we get like the guy out of Kingston
Wait,
or any of the really local guys.
you guys are getting paid?
And they don't, they'll come on a Wednesday night. They make $125, but they got to pay their, well, depending on what level it is, but they'll make anywhere from 75 to 125 on a Wednesday night to come referee a match. They do pay them like $10 extra to come from Flint to the thumb.
It's worth every penny, though. These guys, it is a thankless job. It really is, and that's why whenever I broadcast football games, 95% of the time, if I see a call I don't like, all I'll say is I don't agree with that call, but they have a better perspective than I do. Is all I'll say.
all right.
Because I don't want to dirty bitch any of the referees. Once in a great while, I will, though. Once in a great while.
Once you're in college, those guys are making real money.
That's
doing
different.
it.
Yeah.
That's a whole different situation, and they're at a level where they shouldn't be making silly errors. But a lot of these guys, I know a lot of referees who referee a lot of different sports, and they take so much abuse from people. It's not even funny. I mean, and if they kicked everybody out that they should in those situations,
They spend half the game kicking people out.
yeah.
Well, you brought up a lot of great points, and it's the heat of the moment, and I just was kind of a gear grind to me now, and then I will say I'm sorry. Now I understand where you're coming from.
It's just unfortunate, and the reason those guys are 80 years old out there doing it is because there are not enough of them, and they know that if they stop doing it, those kids don't have a game to play.
Yep.
Because without them, there is no games.
Yep.
And it's a shame that it's gotten to the point that it has, and I 150% blame youth sports because you didn't have this shit when a kid started as a freshman playing a sport or 7th or 8th grade. The parents were just happy they're doing something and they're not sitting playing a video game or whatever anymore. Now the kids are starting in kindergarten, and the only reason they're starting in kindergarten is because their parents want them to do it. And then their parents want them to become good, and their parents want them to succeed. I fell into that same trap for a short time. And I remember one time I embarrassed myself yelling at a referee. And I won't say I never yelled at a referee again. I never yelled at a referee like that. And I never, after a while, you kind of become friends with these guys and you realize there's good ones, there's bad ones, but they're all decent human beings.
Right.
They're not out there trying to fuck anybody. They're
Well
not
said.
out there, they're all decent human beings.
Yep.
And
'Cause
when you look at them like that,
I can tell you, I become friends with a lot of them too throughout my almost 10 years. This will be my 10th season of broadcasting football games. God willing, we're going to make it happen. But I remember early when I was doing it, I would get on the referees and everything. And then I'm out at the bar later with everybody, and who do I see? But that referee, and he had heard about it already, what I had said about him on the broadcast. And that's when it opened up my eyes. 'Cause I'm like, this guy, I didn't realize who it was. I'd known him. I'd seen him around. And great guy, always good to me. And he's like, it's not easy, man. You know that. I'm like, yeah, you're right. I said, that's not fair of me. And he said, it isn't. He said, I did my best. He said, I will admit to you, I did make a mistake on that call. But at the moment,
Right.
that's what I saw, and that's what it is. He says, I've been doing this. And at the time, I think it was like 22 years or something. He's like, I still make mistakes. And he says, you probably do too, broadcasting. I'm like, I do all the time. And he says, we're just human. So,
Yeah.
so that really opened up my eyes.
Well,
And
you just go
then
with the
then we had a
flow.
shot of, not Malort, but we had a shot. And then we,
You probably bought your beer. That's what a great human being
Oh
was.
yeah, he did, and I apologized, and that's what I made it my mission to. Like I said, my take is always when I'm broadcasting a game, I don't agree with that call, but I don't have the perspective that the referees did or the officials did. I don't have the perspective the officials did. So for now, let's move on.
Well said, guys.
Yeah.
I just know that that's from my own experience of trying to going out on, and trying to umpire little league, and I wasn't even calling balls and strikes. I was in the field. I hadn't done it long enough to do any balls and strikes yet, and I made it through about 4 games before I'm just like, you know what? I don't like every dad and mom hating me when I walk off the field, and I was done.
Right.
And I was only like 19 years old when I was doing that. I was just out of high school, but somebody's like, "Man, we need some umpires." And I was actually coaching baseball too. Mm-hmm. And they're like, you should come down and umpire some games, and I did. And holy shit, it's even back then it was terrible.
So I have to say, probably if you had to do a hierarchy of the most thankless positions when it comes to youth sports, by youth I mean anything from high school level down to the minimal level, officiating, referees is probably number one. Most thankless, ruthless, everything else. Coaching is probably second, though, because coaching still, some of the things you have to deal with. I've heard some people talk about coaches, and I'm like, really? Is this the way you see it? Like, I know you got a little bit of bias because it's your kid and everything,
right.
but trust me, this coach does not have a vendetta against your kid. I've seen things, I've seen this, and the kid's kind of lazy. Like, the coach sees that. Coach is just trying to motivate the kid. Kid thinks it's unfair, blah, 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 tells his parents. The worst thing you can do as an athlete is whine to your parents about how the coach is treating you. Because as Michael Jordan's mother told him, work harder then. Just work harder.
Yeah.
That's all work harder. If you think there's an injustice, if you don't think it's fair, if you don't think you're getting a playing time, if you don't think you're getting to whatever, work harder then. If you don't want to, that's fine. And, I've noticed there's a whole sect of players. There's always those natural gifted ones that either work at it or don't work at it, and they typically are at the top of the food chain. The ones that work at it typically go a little bit further. And then from there, you've got the ones that are somewhere in the middle, but you've got the lazy ones, and you've got the medium ones, and you've got the high-effort ones. Those high-effort ones are almost right up there with the gifted ones that don't want to put in the effort. So it kind of branches down. And then from there, you go the ones that just don't have the natural ability, and some of them are willing to work really hard. So they almost pin up one or two. They might not have the abilities naturally, but they're willing to work hard. Then you've got the ones that are medium state. They stay about where they are. Then the ones that don't want to do anything, and if they complain about it in their playing time, those are the ones that I've noticed. So it's like a couple of those pegs. There's some common denominators of ones that typically are the complainers.
Yep.
That are not getting things done, and that's what I've noticed in coaching hierarchies. So,
love it.
I was at Mayville School, coach on a wrestling meet, and watched a coach from Frankenmuth just get all up and down this one official. And he's a younger guy. He'd been officiating for 2-3 years already, but he's a younger guy. And the referee's bitch was, when a kid gets put to their back, they've got basically a second or two to get off their back before they're going to call them pinned. There's no touch falls in high school. So this official was getting down on the ground, and the coach is just screaming at him, he's pinned, he's pinned, he's pinned. And then he eventually pinned him, but the coach still came over and started yelling at him. He's like, you're not moving fast enough. You got to get... And so the official pulls up his pant legs. He's a double amputee. And he's out there with artificial limbs. And you wouldn't really know it, but he is a little bit slower than you would think a 26-year-old guy would be. And he just told the coach, he's like, you can keep yammering over there and yelling, or you can realize that I'm doing the best that I can. And your kid still won, and it didn't change the outcome of it. But, you're looking like a real ass right now. And what
was the next 2 minutes like?
Yeah, that coach was just never said another word the whole rest of the day. Ugh. He said, I could kick you out or I could make you feel like shit. And I'm just like, that is one of the best lines I've ever heard.
Absolutely.
So, you just never know. I mean,
Sure.
Now is the time to say, and we don't actually cross promote or do anything because I know that whatever, but if you ever have any desire to be an official for any sport, it is a thankless job. But you get paid, and there are many rewards to it too, though. Because just doing it, so these kids can get out there and play. Just go to the MHSA website. They have everything you need. If you want to become an official in any sport, they will help you. Even if you know absolutely nothing about the sport, trust me, they will bring you along and give you the tools you need to be able to be an official.
Yeah, for sure. And it really is I know all of our kids that we had, we hammered into their head that you never argue with an official, you never, and a lot of our kids became, when my oldest got his 100th career victory, he got his picture taken with the official that was officiating that match because they were close by that point. He'd seen the guy for 4 years and he had officiated a ton of matches. And, still to this day, Tom will ask me how the boys are doing and things like that. And they're just good people.
And I can tell you this, not even out of favoritism, not even out of anything, but just out of human nature. If you are in a sport and you have the same official over and over again, and you are good to them and you treat them with respect, if that questionable 50-50 call comes down, you might get that 1% more your way just because you've shown them that respect.
Very true.
And that's I'm not saying it's going to sway it big time your way, but you might get that if it's that 50-50, you might get that 1% that makes it go your way.
And you might not get it every time.
Yeah.
But it's just a game.
Yep.
Now when kids are getting hurt, and I've seen it before where referees have let, stuff go too far.
Yep.
And somebody gets hurt. And again, it's one of those things that in real time to say, oh, they should have stopped that or they should have whistled it. It's tough. I mean, it's a tough job out there. I mean,
it is.
It's a,
You made me think.
I never want to do it. I would never.
Oh, I umpired baseball
never.
for a few years.
Yeah.
And it got ridiculous. Well, then it was softball and it was the men's league. And you don't want to do that as a teenager.
No.
Absolutely not.
You don't want to be the sergeant at arms on Thursday Night Bowling League either.
Nope.
No.
Dobie's doing a fine job. Love him.
So, yeah. Just had to break it up a little bit there. But, yeah.
Yeah. Well, thank you for making me look a little bit different, especially you, Adam.
These officials don't have it easy out there. They do not have it easy out there. So,
and I don't think I've ever heard, all the ones that I know that do different sports, I've never heard anybody say, I've heard them say, I hate officiating that team because their coach is a jackass, or there's that one dad that just cannot.
No, I've heard it from you guys on the podcast when you went to football games and from different schools and different communities. I got
shoved off, I didn't get shoved off the chair totally, but I had a dad come and shove me. I'm sitting in the corner coaching a match, and I had a dad come up and shove me because I was telling our kid what they needed to do to beat their kid. And that dad came up and shoved me.
And you were just coaching.
And I was coaching.
That's what coaching is. Coaching is giving your players the strategy they need to win.
So, but his dad came up and shoved me. Now they booted him from the tournament, but
that's assault.
If he would do that, to me as a coach, what is he saying to an official that he feels shorted his kid?
You're exactly right.
And unfortunately, that guy is not. He is more the normal than the anomaly. Unfortunately, but on a different subject.
Yeah, let's move on.
I have a song.
Static crackles, headphones tight again. Late night ramble, two fools and a friend. Feels talk in circles, went on slow. Adam's drops hit, but still he wants more. Drink your health out on bigger jobs. Raise the glass, no truth, no facade. Nothing matters, the air, our home. Podcast roll until the morning comes.
Is this podcast all night?
This is the Bigger Jobs Blues.
Episode 2, chaos on repeat. Phil won't hush his words, fight the beat. Adam's silent fingers, twitching his sound. Waiting for the right one found. Drink your heart out on bigger jobs. Raise the glass, no truth, no facade. Nothing matters, the air our home. Podcast roll until the morning comes.
Now here's the bridge.
All right.
Episode 2, chaos on repeat.
Drink.
Phil won't hush his words, fight the beat. Adam's silent fingers twitch near sound. Waiting for the right one found. Drink your hearts out on bigger jobs. Raise the glass, no truth, no facade. Nothing matters, the air our home. Podcast roll until the morning comes. Life's like weapon, fire will. Phil's noise of flood, but never sit still. Adam whips and drops like bullets so sharp. Podcast of nothing, but it's got so much heart. It's got so much heart. But it's got so much heart. Inside jokes that fade like smoke. Senseless chatter, a beautiful joke. Late night rituals, chaos and haze. Bigger jobs, baby, these are the days.
You'll have that on Bigger Jobs.
Close my eyes, I feel like I'm at a Nickelback concert.
It does sound like Nickelback.
It does sound a little
Did you
bit like...
program it to sound like Nickelback?
No, I said a rock song. And then it called it the blues. I
But
don't know why.
every rock song sounds like Nickelback. God damn
That
it.
is true.
Fuck.
Every AI song sounds like Nickelback.
So Nickelback cracked the code then 20 years ago.
Yes.
We already said this though, haven't I? I've argued this
You did.
before.
Yes, you have. And you're not wrong. You're not wrong.
Of what people like. I wish we could crack the code of what. Why can't we be Joe Rogan? Fuck.
We're not good?
We do the same bullshit Joe Rogan does. I mean, he talks about tight pussy and
Yeah, but does he drink
Wrestling and-
certain stuff like pirate water and
Malort. No,
Yeah.
Joe Rogan would never do any of that.
yeah?
He just gets high and eats elk.
Yeah, he does get high a lot. We do not get high enough on this podcast.
No,
No, we need to get high a lot
we're
more.
funnier when we do.
Gigi is.
Still got part of a gummy here from 420.
It's stale.
This is gonna be like freaking leather.
It's still mushy. Should
That's
I
what
do
he's
it?
going for.
Yeah,
do it?
absolutely.
Dip it in some more and see if it reconstitutes.
Yeah, there
Hour
you go.
late tomorrow, 45
I
minutes
need
now.
some Malort.
Oh fuck, we can take care of that now,
Yeah.
can't we?
Yeah,
So-
actually do it right now.
Here, I'll put it in there.
Who's
Pour a
gonna do
little
a
Malort on
Who's gonna do a drop gummy?
That's his chaser.
it. Yeah. I'm gonna
420
do
gummy.
I'm gonna do a 420 gummy Malort.
With a shot of
Just don't give me a full shot. Just coat it.
Nobody likes a quitter.
Just coat it. Just coat it.
Just
Well,
coat it with a full shot.
Yeah, I
Since how
guess.
we're inventing a new drink here, I think it needs a name of some sort.
Sorry. This is the Rastafarian Malort.
I wanted to do something
We'll
new,
call it grass on grass.
but I think that I'm going to wait till next episode until it kicks in.
Class with grass.
That's with grass.
Grassy ass.
Oh my lord!
Well, it's good enough for government work.
What flavor was that?
I don't know. Well, here's
It's ass now.
Vice. I'm not going to promise anything from here on out, podcast wise. I never have, and
Yeah,
I
we
never will.
How long
We get a
does it
mixed
take to
bag
kick
out
in?
of you anyways.
Depends on what you had to eat.
Yeah. Well, he already ate half your
Snackle box.
snackle box.
Here we go. Are
which,
we ready?
Thank you, Gigi.
Are we ready?
Oh my god. Is it stale?
Oh, it's wonderful. Tastes like Smurfs.
Papa?
The snozberries taste like
Snozberries.
Raspberries.
Tastes like garlic.
It's gone. Godspeed. Here we go.
Ermagerd.
You're welcome. I do it for the listeners.
So, did you have a?
Later, Phil's going to go into the...
Wrong hole.
Did you happen
I
to
saw
have?
that shirt and I loved it. I'm like, I want
Yeah.
one for myself. I'm not gonna lie, but I don't have any stories about wrong holes, so I just
That
gave
he,
it to
that
my.
he will tell.
But I'm not gonna lie. There's a joke in there because it is a 2XL, but it's a 2XL tall. I thought you'd be
You
taller.
motherfucker.
Look at the label. You'll see it's true. But anyway,
Do you have any Urban Dictionary?
Oh, St. Louis.
oh, I do. Yeah, St. Louis is ahead 5-0. By the way,
Oh,
Jesus Christ.
We need new refs.
Right? New refs.
It's made in Nicaragua.
Yeah, well, that's the only place I could get a shirt that said that from.
The rest is in Nicaraguan.
Nicaraguan? You suck at stuff, dickhead. It's a 2XLT.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, 2XLT. It's a tall just for you.
Is this one of those games?
First of all, here we go. The St. Louis hello.
The St. Louis hello.
It's a noun
Hello.
for just a fart. Or two, noun for a purposeful fart by a man during sex. During lovemaking, Frank thought it would be funny to give his girlfriend a St. Louis hello. The next day, Frank's girlfriend dumped him. They were not in St. Louis.
Oh boy.
Hello.
St. Louis style is anal sex with no lube, a dry rub.
Oh, so it's St. Louis.
She let me take her St. Louis style, and there was a lot of screaming from both of us. So there you go, St. Louis definitions.
Oh dear
You're
Lord!
welcome.
I can't believe there wasn't one called the St. Louis Arch.
There was.
there probably
do
is.
you want that? All right. Oh, it's
Absolutely.
bad. I did not want to read
Bad
this
is
one.
good.
I did not really want to read this one on air, but all right.
Sure, GHC's done it.
Let me get back to it. I saw it earlier, and I'm like, it entailed a lot. All right, hold on. Bear with me for a minute here. Entertain the kids just for a second.
I can only imagine what this one is.
Oh,
Are we
good
getting
call.
a whiteboard to diagram this out, or
Yes.
Probably, yeah.
I hit the caps lock. I know
Is
that doesn't matter to you at home, but here we go.
Where we go?
Similar to the Eiffel, this is the St. Louis Arch. Similar to the Eiffel Tower, this move involves tag teaming a girl on opposite ends. Instead of opening handed slaps resembling the Eiffel Tower, you double fist bump your buddy over the tramp's back, resembling an arch. This takes the possibility of interlocking fingers with another dude away, removing one part of the quasi-gay act out of the equation. This is America, so double team it appropriately and fuck the French. Hey Ben, remember when we
throw
St.
that in
Louis
there.
arched Magda the other night? Thanks for not making eye contact either. That way is too romantic.
Wow.
I like you throw in fuck the French.
You're welcome.
What do you think about that, Blade?
Are you French?
We.
No, monsieur.
Yeah, his real name is Brian DeLee.
Man, I'm crusted up on Malort and weed right now, I think.
Already?
Nah, it hasn't hit yet. But I did start another round, and I conjured up. I will say this: I've not been feeling terrible, but just I feel like something's missing in my life. So I conjured up enough microdoses to do another about a 5-week round, and I started today.
Nice.
Well, God bless.
So let's see. I've had way more energy though. Like even today, this afternoon. Like, yeah, been crazy.
You haven't seemed like such an asshole. Yes, you have.
I want to be more of an asshole.
Mission accomplished.
Saturday, I had like 4 donuts and a freaking brownie ice cream thing. Sunday, I felt like shit. I had a fucking sugar hangover.
What?
So that's why we've talked about eating challenges. Gigi is not. We need to. All right, let's break into this. So I didn't contact Kyle of Kyle Can Eat again today, but he went forth and did the Crossroads Burrito Challenge, which he did it in 20 minutes and 28 seconds.
Respect.
Congratulations. Lots of respect.
Yeah.
Lots of respect. Major respect. But I want to put together a league, man. I got another eater here. This guy's considered a professional competitive eater. He did it in 2028. We've got a guy sitting here that did it in 6 minutes and 15 seconds.
Oh, my God.
Can we work on this? Can we work on this?
Can we make this happen? I think we can.
Like, and we need to start your YouTube, as I expressed before. I know you don't like being on the camera.
I second it.
We will put the camera on the food.
Apparently, there's training you need, according to Kyle You Can Eat.
He did say that. He did it in an interview with that television station. Because actually, Thumb Coast Television was actually down there and interviewed it. And like,
Yeah, but it seems to me like it was more of a spectacle than it was a real, taken real serious.
we take this seriously, man. We take this supremely seriously.
Well,
We got 3 eaters here tonight that I know I'll go do any. 3 of us will go do any challenge anytime. You too. I mean, you know,
I'm gonna go.
I
to
have
Milk
so much up respect for this gentleman right now. I talked a lot of shit and, said, I'm not participating if this fucker is. But, after that burrito challenge, you're the man, dude. You're the man, too.
That was insane.
You took your time.
Your 24 minutes was still crazy, considering this guy, Kyle, is fancies himself as, I don't want to say professional, but as a competitive eater. And he did it in 3.5 minutes less than you did. So, yeah, we're right there.
well, and Brian and I were discussing. He actually got done in about 22.
Yeah.
But because it was later in the challenge and, I think Gigi had kind of forced everybody into a holy shit moment.
Yeah.
They were a little slow coming over to check his time.
The customers that were in the house that night.
Yes.
They were like, holy shit. Fucking demolished the record, cut it in half, and then we all forgot about Blade, and he was second. And what a respectable time.
Kyle has not published the eating challenge yet.
Yeah, and I want to see his video. I want to see his.
No,
technique.
so I'm not going to ever talk any shit about Kyle.
No,
Kyle can
obviously
I
he
want
can.
to work with him. I want to work with him. I think we should all work together. We have a following. He has a following. I've got another competitive eater I'm trying to get on board. She has a following. Let's all work together. We're not. This is all. It's competitive.
Yep.
We're all competitive here.
Right.
We're not trying to say that what
No, we're not trying to
each
dirty
other
bitch him at
does.
all.
What each other does is shit, because it's all impressive. I tell you what, I'm impressed that Kyle Can Eat did it in 20 minutes and 28 seconds, because I did it in 30 minutes and I struggled. So I know this is legit.
Yeah.
But I'm saying we should all work together. Why can't we pool our resources? And if he's got 100K subs on YouTube,
Right.
we don't have nearly those numbers. And this other eater I know, she doesn't have nearly those numbers, but she's got numbers. Why can't we all work together and maybe our numbers can blend and we can all build together, especially when we've got a champion sitting here that can fucking eat. This guy he's the linchpin to everything. If we pushed and we did everything, his name is going to be nationally known within a year. I'm not fucking with you. And I'm not.
The
I've looked at
podcast after
everything.
that,
I'm
when I
not
was
fucking
working.
with anything. Like,
I told you guys, I
Yeah.
said, man, we all had each other's back that day. And I knew I was done. And I was looking at Maddie. I was looking at you, Phil, trying to
Yeah.
pump you up, doing my best. You know, I knew you guys were struggling a little bit at the end.
Yeah.
And we all do have each other's back. And you, and Blade too, man. I think that you can be way competitive than some of us.
Well, I'm trying to be not as fat, but the thing is I wasn't sitting there eating that
Yep.
burrito. I wasn't competing against the grumpy griller to try and see who's going to finish that burrito first. I was
Right.
sitting there trying just to beat the clock.
Sure.
And
But that
for
was my
his-
goal too.
And to see the Grumpy Glutton YouTube channel take foot, and that'd be amazing.
Right. You're something special, Gigi. I'll tell you that right now. And like I said, when
Yeah,
that challenge ended in the podcast, I had to work that night at the Blue. I just thought about it all night, the previous night. And I was like, man, this motherfucker's for real, and he should get some, some highlights from around the world, man. You could challenge, dude. Fucking Kobayashi and Chestnut couldn't fucking. You were in champion's time with 6 minutes with that fucking thing. I'm telling you.
Yeah.
I mean, look at the Beard Meets Food podcast. I mean, he's doing millions of views every week, and yeah, he's got a different format than what we might need for the Grumpy Griller here, but it would still be some great watching and great entertainment.
Absolutely.
Right.
It would be. I mean, I think we could do some stuff with that. I do.
I'm going to be a Milliken
I think-
again this weekend.
So
I
you
think-
want to be what?
I'm going to be a Milliken this weekend. I might go to the tavern and see. Well, actually, I don't know if they're open yet.
Yeah.
The Kyle can eat. The one challenge you didn't make was in the.
Don't do it without us.
Yeah.
Oh,
Right.
but, well, we're going to be over there.
Right.
But
Well,
I don't know if that bar is open because somebody got killed out by their dumpster.
Right.
I think
No. So I'm just saying. All I'm saying. All I'm saying is
They serve Malort.
All I'm saying is this: we have
we have something special.
We
here.
have a stud here. Yes.
I think
And-
he should be still in training and go to that Forester just for little shits and giggles.
And we need to
with
do
that-
another one. So we're nearly at the end of May here. Mm-hmm. We're gonna do the hot dog eating contest. I feel like about the middle of July. We need to get another one in here within the next couple weeks. I want to space them out because I don't want to kill us all. Because if we were trying to do these every couple weeks, that would not be
Yeah.
right. I think a month or two, a month and a half in between them is good. Because I know how I feel after I do them. So
Well, there's not a lot of people that know about that. What I told you about Forster
Right.
Inn. It's something locally. Let's pump their business up. Let's get people to recognize Gigi here. And I think that's a 3.5 pound. You looked it up, didn't you?
3.5 pound,
3.5 pound burger, and we have to call.
How many fries is there?
I didn't know what the rest entailed. My buddy, a customer at the Blue, let me know about it.
It's the fries that get you.
They do.
Right.
Well, most people, not you,
And
but
that's,
most people.
that's another thing too. I mean, we didn't know. None of us knew about. I mean, he had
Right.
no problem with it, but none of us knew that we didn't have to eat the lettuce.
Did you see? Okay.
I did know that
Circle-
they did tell us that we didn't have to do the lettuce.
Circle
so.
back to another challenge.
When we got there,
Circle back to another challenge. I want to go back to Bomburger too and do that one again. Can we do a redux on the Bomburger? You can actually get sweet potato fries with them instead of regular fries too, which in my mind to go down easier.
They're
even though
mo-
I hate
they're,
them.
they're kind of moister,
Yeah.
if that makes sense.
So actually, Matt Smith stopped by today, and he's like, I didn't realize you could get it with sweet potato fries. He wants a redux on that one. I do too, because I didn't do that one. I only did the sliders. So
the impossible.
so let's go back to the bomb burgers and do that one.
Blade, would you do that?
The bomb burgers.
Yeah,
mac and
forget the egg
cheese
well
that
done.
get you.
But I think what you need to do too is we need to sit there and get
they're well done. They're smash burgers.
we also need to get the egg. The egg.
Yeah.
The egg.
He doesn't want the egg runny.
Oh,
Well, mine wasn't runny at all.
So, but what you want to do too, in hindsight, we want to get everybody's food at the table and sit for a solid 5 to 10 minutes
Let it-
because it was too hot. I heard it was too hot. Even Matt Smith said it was too hot when you tried digging into that thing. It
Yeah.
was too hot.
But did that make like things a little bit more drier?
It probably
Wait,
dried
do
them
that
out a smidgen. Yeah.
I will say one thing.
That did that to me with the burrito.
yeah.
The rice and the beef was dry. I would have went with the chicken. if I knew about that, because it was wonderful tasting burrito. Don't get me wrong.
the chicken was great.
I should have.
So we're ready to go down there too at Crossroads. We're going to go do the burger challenge. I said probably about September, and of course the owner's like, "Bring the limo, and we'll do it again." And
Nice.
She
Well,
said,
it's sold.
"Oh,
He sold
the limo?
it.
He sold the limo?
I swear.
I got
What a
pee.
motherfucker.
He just told me on that Thursday.
I got to pee,
With a bowling
entertain
ball
the
at his
kids.
head.
and
Yep.
I'll text him when I get back."
Okay.
What the hell did you sell the limo for? I thought he had bought it for a wedding for this summer.
I'm not going to say that. I don't even know really. I think Kyle said he had a little miscommunication, and his partner wasn't helping out. So.
That makes sense.
Yeah, absolutely.
Kyle, get better friends.
Yeah.
If you're gonna do the Bomberger one, they give you an option to get a medium rare.
I gotta find out
Yeah.
too. The same guy told me at the Blue somewhere maybe close to the UP they have a 5-pound ultimate omelet.
Oh, I know where that's at. My nephew actually.
I don't know the city. It's up in the UP.
Yeah, it's up. Where my nephew and brother-in-law done it.
And it's loaded with hash browns and
My nephew
all the good
did it.
stuff, all the meats.
Damn.
Yep. I would possibly contend in that. I know I would get more further than the burrito.
You realize we're all contending for second place.
We've said that, but like Phil
Yeah.
said, he changed my mind. We were backing each other up.
Exactly.
We're cheering we're cheering everybody on.
Exactly.
Yep.
Yeah, it's about finishing the job and beating the clock. It's not about beating each other.
Yep.
So
I knew 3 bites in, I was not finishing that thing. So I kind
But
of.
see, I was the opposite because, like I said, it tasted wonderful.
Oh, yeah.
It tasted wonderful, and then it got dry. We got extra rice because I got no tomatoes on it, I believe, and jalapenos. So I got extra rice.
Yeah.
And that was something I didn't even know. I don't think Phil knew. I didn't think you guys knew that. Prior to us going to the Crossroads,
I did know you could get it without stuff and they would just add more rice.
I did not know that.
yeah, my only thing about that burrito is regardless if you could sub out or not, salsa or queso would have made that absolutely
I think you're
perfect.
right.
Yeah.
There's a little queso on there.
Oh my god.
Yeah. Yeah. If you could almost make it like a wet burrito.
And
Oh,
you
yeah.
sub out the chicken for pulled pork.
I love queso. So
Yeah.
Yeah.
The chicken wasn't. Did you have chicken?
Yeah.
The chicken wasn't bad.
Did it have,
No, it was good.
did it have good flavor?
Yeah.
It was good. I mean, it was.
Now, I don't think they put a 1 pound chicken breast in it because there wasn't. The chicken to rice ratio was still heavy rice.
I didn't get tomatoes or onions. I had a lot of rice.
Gotcha.
Yeah. You were getting a lot of rice regardless of what else you got.
Yeah, I mean, just having that, I mean, the rice itself was very tasty.
The
There's
rice
just
is
there was a
good.
lot
At
of it.
first.
Yeah.
And just to have that salsa or the queso, just to break that up at the end, I might have been able to shave a couple minutes off my time, but
Yeah.
I was thinking too, going with someone. I think 3 or 4 of you guys asked for spoons.
Yeah.
Opening
Yes.
up the tortilla and shoving it all by spoon.
I told you I would eat the tortilla last.
Yeah.
Junior.
Just
all
use
the
your hands.
utensils.
Just use your paws.
This is hey,
Gigi.
hey, Junior. What's up? This is all. Back in my day, son. This is all you needed. This is all you need.
I was
And
still-
you live to eat another day. You live to eat another day.
did a fucking caveman need a fork? Hell no.
If my burrito would have been pulled tighter, I would have had it done.
I was the
before
first
that.
one. I was Phillips. I was Phillips announcer. I was play by play for you. It felt like only 3 minutes, which was pretty close to it. I looked over. I go, look at this motherfucker, dude. I was cracking up.
Dude, I took like 3 bites of mine. I looked
I
to
had
my
like
right
half
at
mine
Jeff's,
done.
and his was over half gone
Yeah.
already. He's picking up the 3rd piece, and I'm like, Jesus, hey, that's kind of brilliant.
Again, Jesus Christ, you got big fucking palms, fucking big hands.
Tigers
Yeah.
are still behind 5-0,
You know what
but
they
it's
say
delayed
about
in the
a
bottom of
man-
the 7th.
A man with big hands and big feet.
Yeah, big shoes and big mittens.
I don't wear men.
So
Too
that
restricted.
my Malort gummies kicked in.
All right, let's play this game now.
Yay!
Can we do
Well,
it?
we
We should
should-
do it. next
episode.
one.
Let's do it next episode because we're at
Well, let's
54.
get right into the next episode because
Yeah.
Yeah, let's do it.
time's a wasting. So
Okay.
let's get out of this one and we'll get right into the next episode.
You got
That sounds like
I
a
don't
winner.
think we need to delay. No.
But we need like a 1 minute. I got pee.
Okay, we'll give you a minute. Okay. Thank you for listening to the P&A Podcast Express. He's Adam Filkins. I'm Phil Nickel. We had featured guest here tonight, Brian the Blade, the Grumpy Griller, featuring the Hall of Famer, Junior Wrong Hole. There we go. Even a blind squirrel gets a nut once in a while. Wrong hole for Junior.
Make right choices.
His hole in one, something spectacular. Thank you.
My life.
Right. Thank you for listening to all of us here at the Palm Street Studios on this recording or live or however you fetch this. And from everyone around the world, make good choices.